Okay, so this kit is essentially a kit I developed for myself being on the road with the potentiality of having to walk home um, a long distance. Okay, so what this kit pretty much entails, we're going to start with, and I know it looks like a lot, however, when you get down to it, there are things I could take out and drop and get rid of, but there are also things that are things I would have to scavenge along the way to get me home, given I'm 2-3 hours away from home and have to walk back. So that's the mentality behind this kit. Plus, there's a lot of use for this for search and rescue, things like that too. This is also my dominant camping bag right here too. So this has pretty much anything I need in it. This is also my supplemental bag for my day-to-day comings and goings from work, to and from home to work, while I'm at work. This is essentially what I can live out of. So this is all that I would need for a very, very long time if I had to live that way. Now, you don't need all of the gear that's shown here. You don't have to have it. You can minimize this down to about 20 items total and still affect a lot of the same things. I'm very tool heavy. I believe in having the extra tools and the things that I need to get me through certain situations as they arise. That said, let's go ahead and dive into it. Let's start with my EDC kit. For those that don't know, that's my everyday carry. This means this is exactly what's on my body every single day. Okay, so we'll go left to right here. Starting with my Nip-X. These are my 4-inch Nip-X pliers. So to avoid carrying a heavy multi-tool on my body every day or with me at all, in most cases, I have taken a Leatherman Wave. I've taken 2 of those, broke those down, and made one what I call a woodsman's pocket knife right there. That consists of a saw, an awl, a bit kit or a bit driver, and a blade. Also in that, I have some bank line for making repairs with that awl that's in there. So those two in combination creates a daily multi-tool for me. It's a small kit, weighs nothing, and it's practical. Okay, so moving on, I've got my titanium pen that takes Fisher Space Pen refills. So that'll write on pretty much any surface, and it will write on a wet surface too. So that for me is key, being that I work outdoors and I spend a lot of my time outdoors. Next, I have kind of gradually moved away from carrying a wallet every day on my body. I have a wallet pouch that I carry. However, inside this notepad, this allows me to keep notes. It is a part of my fire kit on my body because I can use pages out of that to start fire. And I essentially just have my basic, like everyday needed credit cards, debit cards, fuel card for work, ID, all of that stuff is combined right here. Then moving forward to that, I have my EDC fixed blade, which is a Warlander, and this is the beta model. On that, you'll notice that I have my Exotac fire steel, and if you'll look on the back there, held on with Ranger bands, that is an Uber-Leben fire rope. And so that is essentially combined my fire kit on my body every single day. My watch, obviously, it's just a cheap tactical Timex. My earbuds, because I drive a truck, I have to have Bluetooth. I carry every day in my pocket a North American Arms 22 Magnum revolver, 5-shot. My Wuben X3 owl flashlight. A lot of good features on this. I won't get into that right now, but that's my everyday carry flashlight. And then obviously my vehicle keys. Okay, so this is what's actually in my pockets every single day, without fail. When I get up, if I have a pants on, these items are in my pants. Okay, so we're gonna move over. I'm gonna show you the actual pack that I carry. That is an REI Trail 40 men's medium pack. Okay, now on this pack, if you'll notice, there is the everyday kind of wallet pouch that I carry for extra stuff that I don't necessarily need every day on my body. Okay, on this bag, on the grab handle, you'll notice this is called a hero clip, and this is so that when I'm riding, driving, whatever, my bag doesn't fall out of the seat. It stays neat and level where I'm at. Look over the pile of holsters and other random stuff there. All right, so we're gonna start with my food that's in my pack. All right, now mind you, this is gonna be rationed, okay? And this is only a portion. I had to take a couple things out the other day and I have not replaced them, so shame on me for that. That's my fault there. This is generally what I carry. I normally have 2 packs of that. I normally have 3 of those and 2 of these. Now, that'll get me through 3 days, easily more than 3 days for me, because if I'm on the move, I'm probably not going to eat any kind of large meals more than 1 time a day. Mind you, I work in a truck, so I have a lot of snacks and things like that in my truck. I'm going to take those things and snack on them as I'm moving. Okay, so that's even with my pickup truck, if I needed to. So we're going to move from that, and we're going to get over here and we're going to get into essentially my down and dirty quick camp kitchen. What that's going to consist of is right here. This is my camp cup. That is a 750 milliliter titanium cup, lid, and it also serves as a French press. Also, if I'm out and I need to make some kind of concoction, tea, something like that off the landscape, from a medicinal plant or anything like that, I have my strainer there, so I can boil, steep, and strain. All right, so it's multi-useful. That's why it's in my pack like that. Next is my Fossils folding plate. Not a necessity for a get-home bag or survival bag, quote unquote. But when I'm camping, it's nice to have that. It's a morale thing. Do I have to have it? No. But it weighs absolutely nothing. It's feather light. So it's been with me for over 10 years. I'm going to use it till it quits. If you notice back here, I've got a coffee kit. Do I have to have this in my bag? Absolutely, I do not. That's pre-ground coffee in those 2 bags. The white is about 25-ish. Pour over paper coffee filters. It is the cheapest, simplest, fastest, lightest way to have no cleanup and no mess. So if I'm on the go, I need to make coffee, want to make coffee, I can do that, and I have 0 cleanup at that point. I don't have to worry about cleaning grinds out of my cup and wasting precious water if I'm on the move. It's a simple pour over, remove the packet, put that in a bag, stow it away in my backpack. That's my trash, pack it in, pack it out, things like that. And that covers my coffee if I want to do that. Okay, now moving forward, this is my Goshawk, I think is how it's pronounced, gasifier stove. And I chose this over, like say, a gas-propelled rocket stove for a lot of reasons. First off, I can burn twigs, sticks, pine cones, wood pellets, any kind of natural materials. However, if you look here a little bit further, that is my Toaks Siphon Mini alcohol stove. Okay, that sits perfectly inside of here. If I want to get a fast rolling boil with no smoke and no signature, I can basically put a windscreen, natural windscreens of any kind around that, and prevent a visual light and or smoke signature and smell at that point if I'm trying to be covert, so to speak. And in this old contact solution bottle, I have denatured alcohol to run this. Obviously my titanium spoon and spork there, that is made by Yuko, and those are awesome. Those are my favorite ones. And then I have my Grill 16.9 ounce water filtration press. That's a titanium model. The reason that I have it, the reason I'm using it, basically is because I won it on a raffle, not because I'm going to spend 200 bucks on it. Now, the beauty of it is titanium, it is metal. If I needed to secondary boil or even use that as a primary to boil my water for a means of sanitizing water, I could do so. Okay, so essentially what you do is you put your water in here and you use your grill press it through, it pushes the water through the filter inside your water bottle reservoir. So it's multi-useful. Okay, I can boil water in that, or I can also filter my water and have a water reservoir to carry water with. Okay, so that's pretty much my backpack cooking setup. Now this one's important, and it's a lot of stuff, and I'm kind of adding a lot of stuff together. All right, so this is my hygiene kit slash medical. This is all kitted out. Okay, so this is multiple things in multiple kits, and forgive me for moving around. If you'll look, this right here, this pack, this little pouch right here is roughly about 6.5, 7 inches long, about 5 inches wide, and it holds everything from here in this square. Okay, I've got anti-fog wipes for my glasses, Purell wipes, a couple of cold shower wipes, I have lip balm, I have cortisone cream, toothpaste, tweezers, a toothbrush, eye drops, a bar of soap, flossers, a pair of flat pack, fingernail clippers, tissues, caffeine pills, ibuprofen, and a small camp mirror. Okay, now we're gonna move back. We're gonna start here. This is what I consider my medical and part of my hygiene kit. This is just because I have bad sinus problems, so I always keep Flonase and Afrin with me. This I'm not going to tear apart. This is my medical kit. This consists of a lot of just simple boo-boo kit kind of stuff. Band-aids, you know, ibuprofen, Tylenol, just anything you can think of for a normal boo-boo kit. But this also has a lot of stuff in it that is trauma related. There are tourniquets in here, there are trauma pads, gauze, quick clot, zip stitches, a plethora of things in here if I need to bandage myself or somebody else up while I'm on the move. These are some of the best band-aids that I've ever found, called Super Skin. Really flexible, and they stay on really well. I keep those in my pack. Those are most of the time separate from this entire kit, just in case I need a band-aid. I don't have to bust open all of this at one time to get it. That's a bar of dead downwind soap. Mostly that's in here because I hunt, and I just haven't taken it out from this year's hunt season. And obviously a shamog. I can use that for a multitude of things. Washcloth, towel, you know, in the event that I have to do a makeshift splint, there's just so much things that I can use that for medically, hygienically. The uses are endless for that. So that's why I'm adding that into the hygiene and medical kit side of things. And then this one kind of speaks for itself, the old shit kit. So I have my Purell with duct tape wrapped around it. That's a redundancy for my fire kit. This is Dude Wipes. The actual Dude Wipe package that they came in busted, so they're double bagged inside of Ziploc bags, and then obviously some toilet paper there flattened down, and it all compresses into this waterproof pack right here, this waterproof pouch. And then so now we're going to move over to navigation. And with my navigation kit, looks pretty broad. It's actually pretty simple. It's about as simple as you can get for a navigation kit. I have my Sunto compass. I have a spare light. This is the O-Light clip. I have 2 grease pens, which are awesome for writing on laminated tarps and things like that, or even windows on cars. Instead of using like dry erase marker, if you needed to, you could use that to write coordinates or something like that on a vehicle window, which is a pretty common thing. So then I've got my writing ring pencil, my 2 Sharpies. I have a range indicator card, which I know is kind of hard to see here. Basically, that you can hold out in front of you and estimate range and distance based off the size of various things like vehicles, a man, things like that. Kind of a quick use way to use it's a manual rangefinder. That's what it is. I've got my protractors for different types of maps. I've got all my scales. I don't know how well you can see that with a backdrop, but you've got all your different scales laid out for different map sizes. My writing ring notepad, that is imperative to have if you're doing any kind of navigation. You want to be able to write down your coordinates anytime you're triangulating a position, or anything that you may be doing. You want to be able to write that down. Okay, in that, because I'm in North Carolina, I keep a book on just edible and medicinal and poisonous mushrooms. I keep 2 maps of North Carolina. This one has a topo side, and it's like cities and towns and roads, and this one's strictly just towns and roads. Here I have extra colored and regular lead erasers and everything for my pencil, so that if I have to draw in my book like a rough sketch map or something, I can do that. All of that fits in this repurposed pouch that I put the hook and loop on. That is my navigation pouch. So we'll move into clothing next. Clothing is kind of an important thing, being that we're going to move to shelter next. So your shelter begins with what you're wearing on your body. Are you dressed for the environment that you're in? Okay, so if you're not, you should probably have at least a change of clothes on you that you can adapt to the environment or the situation, right? So we're going to start just a pair of lightweight hiking pants, okay? Those are Eddie Bauer, I think, First Ascents, if I remember correctly. I have 3 beanies in here. There's no rhyme or reason for 3. I have 1 ultralight beanie, I have 1 heavyweight beanie, and I have the beanie that I pretty much wear every day for work and things like that. I don't need 3 beanies, so that's getting ready to be quickly taken apart. I've got my camo hoodie in the event that it's cold and I need to move and stay out of sight, out of mind. And I have 2 hats. One is my boonie, which is set up basically in a ghillie suit type way. I could attach stuff to it tree limbs, whatever I needed to do to kind of break up my outline if I needed to do that. I have my regular everyday ball cap that I wear, and then I have my ultralight Columbia rain jacket. Moving down, that's just a random pair of extra underwear, pair of gloves, and then you've got this waterproof bag right here, and that houses 2 extra pairs of wool socks, another pair of underwear, a lightweight t-shirt, and a lightweight camo long sleeve shirt. So that, this also houses an ultralight set of merino wool pants. Yeah, it's important because now I have my base layers. I can layer up, and all that is also going to go off of what I'm currently wearing when and if I have to use this bag. So then we're going to move over and we're going to go to our shelter. All right, shelter system basically is piggybacking off of what you're wearing. If you're not prepared with what you're wearing, you're already starting to set yourself up for failure if you don't at least have something in your pack to get you to the point that you have the correct clothing on to start your shelter, to start that micro climate for your body. You're setting yourself up for failure. Now, building off of that, we're going to go right here. So that is a Swagman roll. Basically, that is a poncho liner with a hood built into it. You can use it, if you look there, there's multiple ways you can use it. You can wear it, you can use it for an improvised lightweight sleeping bag, you can use it for an under quilt, or you can just use it as a throw on the ground. It is water resistant, not waterproof. Water will bead off of it, but eventually it will just build up in it. So I have 2 forms of cover, meaning 2 forms of shelter. One of which is something I've recently found. It weighs absolutely nothing. This is the T60 emergency shelter. It's a tarp. The actual size on it is escaping my mind right now. I want to say 5x8. Super light, super simple, fast to set up. Okay. If you notice the camo portion sitting here, maybe this, that's my USGI poncho. Okay, that is another 5x8 shelter and another layer of clothing that I can put on my body. So it's a dual purpose item. Okay, so if need be, I could use that along with the Swagman roll and make a makeshift waterproof, probably 3-season sleeping bag in a survival situation, and use the T60 as my cover if I had to do that. Now with that, this is part of my shelter system. So what you're looking at here are 5 hanks of 6-foot long paracord. Each one of these has a bowline knot in one end of it. What these are used for, the uses are endless, but mostly this is used for extension lines for setting up my tarps and things like that. If I need to, extend to a further away tree, or even if I need to hang my pack up, if I needed to create an improvised way to clean game, I could use these for that. So there's just endless uses for that stuff. And then this is my rapid deploy ridgeline, and that's got my Prusix with my toggles already built into it, so that when I deploy that, I'm not hunting around on the ground and trying to cut sticks and stuff to use for toggles. It's already there. I run the line through between my trees, pull it taut, run my toggles through my tarp, pull my Prusik knots tight, and lock it into place. That said, with that, I have another 4 aluminum tent stakes. Nothing fancy, just small aluminum tent stakes. And I've got this big gaudy orange plastic tent stake. That also plays into my fire kit, because I can take the 90-degree spine on my knife, scrape one of these sides, one of these edges right here, and get that plastic dust, and my ferro rod will strike a spark hot enough to catch that on fire. If I had to, I'd make a feather stick out of this stake in extremely wet weather and use that stake to start my fire. So if all else fails, I can use that to start a fire, and I can use sticks off the ground for a stake to replace it if I have to. And then here is my sit pad / knee pad. It's just a Thermarest Z pad. Z seat is exactly what it is. Then we're going to move back. This is my electronics kit. And what this is going to consist of is a Faraday bag, an ANSU ham radio or GMRS radio. This is capable of both. I separate the antenna because I don't want my antenna in the bag and folded at all times. It's probably not good for it. Any cords that I would need throughout my day. So I think there's like 6 different cords right here that I could possibly need. My power bank, which is a Dark Energy Poseidon, waterproof, dustproof, all that good stuff. This is a battery holder, battery container for these 123 batteries, which are for my weapons lights. Extra AAAs in that holder, and then these are CR 2032s, which are what most of my optics, if my optics run on a battery, this is what they run on. So this little small tube, and I've got plenty of extra batteries. This is my charging box and charging cord for my EDC flashlight that we looked at earlier. That'll fully charge that light twice, and then it's got, this actually comes apart, and that's a charging cord, along with being the lanyard for the charging box. Then I've got this little cheap lantern. It's got several modes on it. It's just another light source, an emergency backup light source, or like when I'm camping, I'll use it as my tent or my shelter lantern or whatever it is. And then of course my headlamp. This is the Petzl Tactica 2, and I've been using that one for about 10 years, I think, so it's been a while. And then last but not least, we'll get into my toolkit, which looks and seems like a lot. It's really not. It's kind of bare minimum things that I feel like you would need on the go. And we'll start at the bottom and work our way up. So just a simple lockpick kit right here. We won't even get into that, what that is for. Moleskin and this is a bivy repair kit for one of my bivvies. It has a screen in it. Don't absolutely have to have it, but in the event that something happens when I'm actually using a bivvy, it's nice to have. I've got my extra ferro rod, so this is the one that's in my pack at all times. It's 6 inches by 1/2 inch. If you notice, I've got some more Gorilla duct tape wrapped around that because there, again, that's a flame extender. I got some circle hooks for catfish, which is kind of goes into the fishing kit of this. I got a seal cock key so that if I'm having to move in city environments or town environments, I can always use this on the back of buildings, gas stations, whatever, to get water, so that I don't have to filter water. Because if you don't have to boil, you don't have to filter, you don't have to stop, that means you can keep moving. Right here, these are bobbins of fishing line, various sizes. I have a small roll of tippet, which is going to go along with my Tenkara fly rod here. And I do have a small freshwater fly kit set up for this pack. It's not in here right now because I'm kind of adding some flies to it. And this is an extra fly line, main line for that rod. Up here, this is about, it don't look like much, but that's actually about 50 feet, maybe a little more, of number 36 tarred bank line. shelters and things like that, any kind of repairs. Even can break that apart and use that for fishing line if I had to. We've already covered the tenkara rod. Of course, you've got your knife sharpener. This has also got a broadhead wrench. This also has ceramic, coarse and fine ceramics. It has a strop built into it, a coarse and a fine diamond plate on both sides, so I can sharpen anything I need to sharpen in the field. Next, I have my Silky Pocket Boy saw. This kind of takes place of bigger things like an axe or a hatchet. Reduces some weight, reduces some size in the pack. That's why that's in there. And then moving forward, I have my SE4, which is my workhorse knife. This is what I'm going to use when I got to go to work on things, not my everyday carry knife. And I have a pair of Nipex 8-inch wire / bolt cutters, because in the event that I'm walking home, if I've got to cut a fence to get from point A to point B, that's what I'll do. Some hand warmers, because it has been winter time. Those are probably getting ready to come out, maybe. Those could actually fall within my medical kit, because if somebody's in shock or hypothermic, which can happen any time of the year in any kind of weather, that can be used to kind of regulate body heat. Then coming back over to the sheath for the SE4 knife, you notice I have a big lighter on here, bright colored so I don't lose it, and another ferro rod. Okay, if you're noticing a lot of redundancies in fire in my kit, yes, you should have multiple ways to create fire, because that's gonna keep you warm and potentially save your life in being able to prepare food and or boil water to get parasites and things like that out of your water. I have a small roll, 100-foot roll of micro cord. That does not have to be in here. That was actually in here for a project I was working on. It's handy, but it don't have to be there. And then I have my fire kit. The actual fire kit has some fire plugs, some wax infused cotton pads, another Uber Leben fire rope, a fire bellow, and a Fresno lens, just a pocket or a wallet Fresno lens. And then we move over to personal protection. So every day I carry, along with all of this, a Ruger 5.7 LC 5.7 carbine. So I have 3 extra mags of 5.7 ammo in my pack, and I have my 9mm pistol, which I won't get into, and then I have my extra mags for that gun that are all loaded with extra ammo. So that's my extra ammo. Instead of carrying boxes of ammo, I prefer to carry mags preloaded. That way, if I get in a situation, I can go straight to mags, and I don't have to worry about trying to get somewhere, get behind cover and load mags while I'm potentially being shot at. Anyway, that pretty well covers everything that I carry on a daily basis and the reasons for each item. This pack's took me to get to this point, and to be as purpose driven as it is, this pack has taken me close to 12 years to nail it down to what works for me. There have been several reiterations of it. This just happens to be what I feel like, if I had to move long distance, this is what I would use. I'd cut this pack in half if I were only driving 10-15 minutes, for work, because then it's not going to take me as long to get home, things like that. So anyway, hope it helps, and we'll catch you next time.